See, once you are defeated in your mind, ladies and gentlemen, it's all over. It's all over once you're defeated in your mind. See, you showed up with greatness in you. And most of us, because of the mindset we've been born into, and most of us because we're allowing ourselves to be controlled by life as to being in charge of our lives as opposed to taking charge of our lives, we're on automatic. We're just following the crowd. If I can go there and get something that's going to make a difference in my energy level, in my confidence, help me find my purpose, give me some idea that can make me turn the corner and where I'm going, it's possible. I can do it. Will you have some hard times? Yes. Have you ever heard people say, look, I've done everything I can do. I'm only human. And when they say I'm only human, they're saying it from the perspective that you can only do so much. They say I'm only human, they're saying it from the perspective that I'm limited. I'm reminded of a man at a time when in the South, the soil was depleted from the kind of crops that were being grown and because of neglect. And this man came up with an idea for the farmers. He said, listen, he said, start planting peanuts. One, it doesn't take as much mineral from the soil to grow peanuts, and in fact, it enriches the soil. They did it. And much to their surprise, it enriched the soil, made it more fertile. And he said, now after you grow the peanuts, you can sell the peanuts. And this man was hailed and recognized and praised for his revolutionary idea. But then after a while, when there was an abundance of peanuts, the same man who was praised now was condemned and criticized for coming up with this asinine idea. Hey, come on, what are we going to do? Feed our families peanuts? We can't sell all these peanuts. We can't eat all these peanuts. You were stupid for telling us this. And this man, who was doing what he could, what he had, he felt condemned. And he withdrew to his laboratory. And he said, Lord, what can I do to handle this situation? Sometimes you're going to have to retreat. I was there. I know what it is to walk the floor and you don't know how you're going to make it when people no longer believe in you. And you got all you got. And you got to say to yourself, when you fail again and again, they tell you no, sometimes with tears in your eyes, hey, it's possible. In spite of this, it's possible I can make it again. When life knocks you down, sometimes you have to take 2 steps backwards to go forward. It's possible. When life staggers you, the thing that'll get you up on your knees and get you standing in the center of the ring and find something from somewhere deep down in to keep on slugging and keep on fighting it's possible. And maybe, just maybe, I can pull this out. It's just maybe. My arms are tired. I don't know where I'll get the strength from, but it's possible. If I just stand long enough, I can pull this off. And this man stayed in that laboratory. He said, God, give me an answer. You're going to have to ask sometimes life to give you an answer. Lead me. Tell me what to do, where to go. I need some help. I need some guidance. And after staying in his laboratory, he came out. And with just a peanut, ladies and gentlemen, with just a peanut, he made an announcement. He says, listen, come. He said, I've discovered 300 uses for this peanut. You can make 12 different dyes with it. You can make powder with it. You can make cardboard with it. I've got other uses. And he discovered over 600 uses for the sweet potato. Now just think, George Washington Carver made penicillin from a peanut. Just a peanut, ladies and gentlemen. Undynamic, unthinking, unfeeling, inanimate object. There are 300 uses that we know about. Now just think, if that happened, then what can be done with a dynamic, thinking, feeling, creative human being? I lost my job. This is all I've ever done. This is all I know. No. Here's your homework. I want you to read your card 3 times a day. Write your goal down. Think about your goal. Go to the store, get you a peanut and put it someplace special. And look at that peanut every time you doubt the possibilities of your life and the uses of your life, of your genius. Just look at that peanut. But I want you to look at your life, to look at your dream and say, it's possible. When you're facing defeat and disappointment, seem like life has written you off and everybody say you can't do it. You don't have what it takes. I'm not asking you to say, yes, I can do it. But see, there are too many variables in life that can happen, that can enable you to pull it out. No one can say that. All you need to affirm that in spite of this, in spite of these odds, it's possible that I can do it. Think about your goal right now. Think about your goal. And say this with me with every feeling in your body, all the faith that you can conjure up, all the inner strength deep down inside. Just say, it's possible. I can have this new life, this new vision of myself. So I want you to get the Mastermind Journal and work with it. Write your goals down. Do the image book that's in here. Concentrate, focus your thoughts and thinking on your goal. And all I want you to do next week, come with a peanut and bring a friend. And if it's crowded, if you have to walk 3 blocks, if it's going to mean a breakthrough and a difference in your life, so be it. And all I want you to do every day is just say to yourself, when you feel that inner negative conversation saying you can't do it, just say, it's possible. The fact that many people become discouraged when they use affirmations, they listen to tapes, they read books, they do all of the things that are required of them to develop their consciousness, and things still don't happen. They affirm, I can do it. Yes, I can. And yes, I will. I'm blessed and highly favored. And nothing happens. And they become frustrated. They become discouraged and disillusioned, and they quit. So we advocated a position that we felt that people could take that will keep them in alignment with themselves and operate and speak it in a spirit of integrity. That as you look at your goal, and sometimes it's just too big of a mental leap from here where you are to where you want to be. And so to say, I can do that might be too much. You might can't see that happening right now. And as a result of your doing that and not ready to accept that, you'll quit prematurely. So we said, establish a benchmark, if you please. A foundation where you can retreat, and every time you say this, it will always be true. Give you something to hold on. And we said that something is, as you look at your goals, it's possible. In spite of the fact that things aren't working out right now, in spite of the fact that I don't have all the things I need, I don't have the help and the assistance I need, it's still possible that I'm still in the game, I'm still breathing, I still have life, I still have an opportunity. As long as I'm here, I've got an opportunity to pull it off. That no one has the right to count you out, to disregard your presence. No one has the right to do that. You don't have the right to do that. You can do it, but you should not do that. You want to give yourself a fighting chance. If you take yourself out of the ring, you never have a chance to know whether or not you could have made it happen. But if you could stay in there, and what can keep you in there? What can get you up off the canvas? As long as I'm in the ring, it's possible I can get one lick in that can make the difference. See, I think there are 3 kinds of people. There are winners, people that know who they are, know what they want, know their potential, know what the possibilities for their lives, and they go out and they take life on. And then there are far more other people, and those are the losers in life. They don't know who they are. They've set themselves up to be losers. Circumstances, events, various experiences have shaped this image of themselves. They draw hard times and bad luck to themselves. They feel that it's hopeless and no sense in trying to change it. But then there's another group, and that's who you are. I think you're in this group. And this group are winners who have not discovered the keys that will enable them to unlock some new opportunities for themselves, some new experiences for themselves. These are people who who they're winners, they know that they are. But they're out of alignment. They're out of sync with themselves. They just need some twerking, just need some coaching, just need to make some adjustments here and there. Just need to be given an opportunity, just need a little help, a little assistance. And often they're gone. How can you identify these people? Because these people who are winners, who have not discovered the keys that will enable them to tap into their greatness, they're always searching. These people always seeking, going to seminars, going to workshops, reading books, asking questions, trying to find some answers to their lives. These people have what Howard Thurman calls in one of his books entitled, Deep is the Hunger. That these people have a deep hunger for a new life. These people, deep down in their souls, they say, God, there's got to be more. This cannot be it for my life.
How many of you ever decided not to do something based upon an assumption? And so that's why it's important for us to be strategic and experiential and being able to tell the story to distract them from their current story, distract, dispute, break down the limited belief system, and inspire them to say yes to a new opportunity in their lives. And so as a result, I didn't do what I'm doing now because I had such a tremendous inferiority complex because of my lack of college education. I stopped myself. There's no enemy within. The enemy outside can do us no harm. And so as you look at yourself, as you look at your goals, look at your dreams, it's very important that you take time every day and write this down to retrain your thinking, because how we live our lives is a result of the story that we bought into. I had to retrain my thinking because of what I saw. Studies indicating that the decisions we make in life is directly related to the things that we saw, the things that we experienced, the conversations we've been exposed to between age 0 and 5. And so as a result of that, my experience, I had to begin to engage in a process of retraining my mindset. And I didn't even know what I was doing. But this man, Mr. Swiderski, I'll never forget. Leslie, come in here. Yes, sir. Look at my shoes. You can shine them better than this. I do apologize, sir. I'll do a better job. And his wife said, please don't yell at him like that. That's not nice. He's just a kid. He's only 10 years old. He should do a better job than that. He can. I said, it's okay, Mrs. Swiderski. And he should have yelled at me. He was a very rude, arrogant guy, but he was a kind guy too. What I loved about him, every day he had a routine. It was his time in the morning he spent working on his mind. And I wanted to be in the office as he was shining his shoes, listening to Earl Nightingale. All of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. Listening to Dr. Dennis Waitley, people form habits and habits create futures. Listening to Zig Ziglar, if you give enough people what they want, they will give you what you want. Listening to Jim Rohn, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. Listening and reading the words of Winston Churchill, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but at the end, there it is. Reading from my favorite book, Be Not Conformed to This World, Be Transformed by the renewing of your mind. Listening to these words help to create a different vision for myself. Some of you are already doing it right now. I'm saying this is a time more than ever that you want to begin to inoculate yourself with positive words, coming to conventions, showing up on meetings, being on the calls, to make yourself unstoppable, to get out of your mind the polluting negative thoughts that's causing most people to go through life being stuck because they're volunteer victims. Somebody said that many people die at age 25 and don't get buried until they're 65 because they got so much garbage in their minds. You are here because you've got a clear vision of what you want and where you're going. You're different than everybody else. Don't worry worry if they don't get it. Don't try and convince people to do this business. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. You are not like everybody else. You can walk outside and find pigeons, but if you're looking for eagles, it's going to take you a minute. You are different. It's lonely at the top, but you eat better. That's what I'm talking about. You're different. One great entrepreneur said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. You showed up because you're building a business that you can stand and say, I did this. I did this. This is my dream. There's something in you that wouldn't allow you to stop. Dr. Howard Thurman, he said there's something in each and every one of you that waits and listens to the voice of the genuine in yourself. It will be perhaps the only guide you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, all of your life, your days will be spent on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. There's something in you, in your heart of hearts, that said, I'm not going to let anybody pull my strings. It said, I'm going to control my own personal economy. It said, I've got a dream I want to achieve. I want my children to have a choice of the kind of education that they want. That said, I am the captain of my ship. That said, I'm going to control my destiny. And whatever it takes, I'm willing to do the work. 1961, President John F. Kennedy had a decision to make. The decision was whether or not to call a news conference and tell the world the United States was going to go to the moon. And I submit to you that the decision to do that was very risky. And what governed his thinking is what governed your thinking when you decided, I'm going to do this. See, the technology did not exist. The answer of what will it take did not exist. No one had ever done it before. But he made a decision. He looked at Werner von Braun, the most brilliant scientist of that day. And he said, Werner, what will it take for us to go to the moon? And he spoke 5 words. And those 5 words, I think, is what governs most entrepreneurs. Those 5 words, I think, is what give people like you the courage to pursue their dreams. Those 5 words is what I think people who are pioneers, people who are breaking new ground, make decisions on. He said, what will it take for us to go to the moon? And the response was, the will to do it. As you look at yourself, as you look at your business, what will it take for you to increase your business? The will to do it. What will it take for you to become more powerful in your presentation skills and be able to increase the number of people, to quadruple your business? The will to do it. What will it take for you when others are quitting because of the rejections, when others are stopping because they just become so discouraged and they have creditors breathing down their neck and they have family members and friends telling them they're a fool? What is it that will allow you to have the mental resiliency to keep on keeping on, to keep your commitment to your commitment? The will to do it. Mr. Washington, this man who taught me, he said, Mr. Brown, you want to make it in life? He said, number 1, develop your mind. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Number 2, develop your communication skills. Once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. 3, practice the principle of OQP, only quality people. As you think about your goals and dreams, this is not for everybody. You want to build an organization with only quality people. Not people who need more, but people who want more. You want to surround yourself with people that are hungry. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry do what they know, not what they feel. See, I didn't do this for years because I knew it would be hard.